All right, in this video, I'm going to try to accomplish two things. One, explain why I'm going to do an Ironman in 2024. Two, explain why I'm making this video and why I'm making this YouTube channel in the first place. And three, I guess we'll talk about my overall fitness experience, history, and plans for the future. But first, why I'm doing this. One, I need something to look forward to. Okay. I have loved going to the gym. It has been my favorite part of the day for years now. I started working out back when I was like 16, and almost for 10 years now, my favorite part of the day was going to the gym. Like, I would go to school, then immediately after go to the gym, or I had a period where I'd go to the gym right before school, or regardless, even now, I work at home. So my one way to get out of the house every single day is to go to the gym. It's what I've looked forward to. But over the past 3 months, I've actually lost that excitement. When I've been at the gym, I've just been thinking, what am I doing here? What am I accomplishing? What's the reason being here? I think the reason I've been feeling this way primarily is up until about 3 months ago, I had a friendly bet with one of my buddies. Essentially, we were going to race each other. We were going to do a Murph on Memorial Day. It was a big bet. I had to win. And for about 3 months leading up to it, I trained the hardest I possibly could. I mean, I did about a Murph or 2 Murphs a day. I mean, I was doing everything I could to win that. And it was really nice looking back, having something to work towards, because as soon as I lost that and I went back to just going to the gym and doing bro lifts, doing some incline bench, sitting there going, okay, well, my girlfriend doesn't really care if I get any more muscular like that. There's no reason for me to do it for that. I'm not necessarily getting healthier here if I'm just doing incline bench and heavy squats. So why am I here? What am I doing? Can I just go home? And I hate that. I mean, I generally want to enjoy going to the gym, and felt like, okay, let's set a pretty big goal, have something fun to work towards. And I'll talk about what I've been doing over the past few weeks. And I've actually been having a lot of fun now working towards this Ironman. Now, the other reason that I really am looking forward to this is I just want to accomplish something great. I, in general, have pretty much everything I could ever ask for. I have a job that is so good. I mean, I just talk about fantasy football all day. Like, I could have never imagined that was a real job back when I was like 14. I have a perfect dog, great girlfriend. I have everything I could ask for. There's not too much professionally that I haven't accomplished already. I want to accomplish something else that I'm proud of. And finding that next thing is pretty important to me. And I am pretty sure that I will be proud of myself if I can do this. Because if you would have asked me 5-10 years ago if I would have ever been able to do this, I would have said no. And essentially, I just want to go through and show the Mason from 5 or 10 years ago that you can do anything. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if I am an idiot here. Probably am. But I want to do something that I'm proud of. Now, the reason I am making this video, the reason I'm going to be making videos on this channel is primarily accountability, in that how I go through and how do I try to accomplish things. I know most people, when they set a goal, they'll set that goal towards themselves, and they'll say, okay, in the back of their mind, they go, okay, I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And let's just stick it with exercise, because we're in that ballpark right now, right? So let's say someone who doesn't exercise, in their mind, they set a goal and they go, I want to run a 5K, right? And if they don't exercise at all, that can be a very big goal for them. The normal reaction for someone would be, okay, I'm going to internalize this goal. I'm going to quietly work towards this, and I'm going to do this. And it's a very low risk goal, right? Because if 2-3 weeks in, you lose focus, you lose motivation, you can easily convince yourself that it's not a big deal to quit, that you never really wanted to do it in the first place, that you want to just go ahead, back out, nobody's going to know. I mean, it's not a big deal in your head at that point. And then you quit and never obtain your goal. Whereas how I've always gone through and approached things, whether that's, professionally, whether that's exercise-wise, I don't know, regardless. If it's a goal, I try to tell everybody that I know that I'm going to do it, regardless of if at the time it seems obtainable or not. Because what it does is, one, when you say that you are going to do it, you take actions as if someone that is going to do it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just a big believer in going ahead and manifesting things, because if you're convinced that you're going to do something, you will do the things that will allow you to accomplish your goal. Like an example of this, I took a sports psychology class in school, and they taught us this one thing. I know this is dumb, but the one example that stuck out to me is there was like some girl that was trying to lose weight. And she essentially, every time she went to eat or do something, whether it was exercise, eat, regardless of whatever it was, she would ask herself, okay, what would a skinny girl do in this situation? And then she would do that, if that makes sense. So if I go ahead and I speak it and say, I'm going to do an Ironman, whenever I'm sitting there and I'm going to go work out, what would someone who does Ironmans do, etc. Hopefully this makes sense. And also, if I go to back out, it's not as simple as I can just convince myself one day, oh, you never wanted to do it. It's not a big deal. Because I told my parents, I told my friends, I told my girlfriend, I told everybody I personally know, I put it on the internet, it's out there. So if I back out, there are real ramifications. And as I speak through this, yeah, it's nerve-wracking. Okay, I'm a little scared going through and saying this out loud, because it's very true. If I don't do it, I will have failed and I will be very embarrassed. But if that makes me 10%, if that makes me 20%, if that makes me 30% more likely to obtain my goal, which I don't know exactly what percentage it is and how likely I am versus not likely, but I'm pretty confident that it makes me more likely in general. It's something that I'm willing to go ahead and put out there. Now, another reason I am making this channel is that be pretty cool 5 years from now, I can go back and look at this process and say, okay, here's what I was thinking this week. Here's what I did. Look at how dumb I was there. I should have done this differently. And I think it'll be a cool learning process, and it will force me to go through and just continuously rethink what I'm doing in a way that can be productive going towards the future. Now, what I've done up until this point is very little. Okay, so my first time swimming, which in an Ironman, you have to swim about 2.5 miles. Now, of course, I've swam in pools before. I was a lifeguard. I know how to swim. But actually, like swimming laps, like real swimming, was Sunday, which was 5 days ago now. But this is why I realized that I think I can do this, because I went and swam, and it wasn't my first time swimming laps. I'd swam laps back when I was a freshman on the powerlifting team at UT, but back then I did absolutely no cardio whatsoever. So I swam, I think, 2 laps. I was like there, back, and I was so tired I got out of the pool and never went again. Well, I went Sunday and I was able to do 40 laps, which actually 20 laps if you're going there, back, 40 laps if you just count one there. Regardless, whatever it was like 1,000 yards. And then Tuesday, I went and did, I want to say 2,000 yards. So I did 80 laps. And then this morning, I did 2,500 yards. So I did 100 laps. Now, keep in mind, this is not as impressive as it sounds. That's me going like there, back, panting on the side, drinking a little water, there, back, panting on the side. So it's not like how it would be swimming a mile in an Ironman or whatever, where you can't hold on to the side. And I understand that. But I also, one, don't have a bike, and I have not rode a bicycle in maybe 10 plus years. So that will be something that I have to go through and get and learn how to do effectively. Now, I have been running a bit, which is nice. But when it comes to running, and obviously this translates to swimming, it will translate to biking, I've noticed that like my aerobic versus anaerobic fitness is way off. Like I can go through and I can run a half marathon right now. Like I went and ran a half marathon on Friday, obviously not like a real race, but just on my little watch. But what happens is I run like a mile and then my heart rate is at 180, high 180s sometimes. And then I run 12 more miles with that heart rate. Like it's essentially just all anaerobic, where earlier in this week, I just had a small, like slow run where I was trying to keep my heart rate under 155 because that's like the aerobic range, according to what I saw in a YouTube video. Who knows if a YouTube video is true? And I couldn't do it. My heart rate just immediately jacks up. Now, my resting heart rate's very low. My resting heart rate's like 42 beats per minute or whatever it is. So I don't know if I have something wrong. I have to work on my aerobic fitness regardless of whatever it is. But yeah, I'm excited. I think we're probably going to get a bike next week. I just ordered a helmet off of Amazon. I have like an old crappy bike that I'm trying to fix up right now that I can practice on the old crappy bike whenever I can get the seat fixed. And then hopefully get a nice triathlon bike next week. But I hope this kind of summarized everything effectively. I don't know what I'm going to do with this channel. I don't know if it's going to be like a once a week update. Here's what I did for the week. Here's my workouts. Here's how I felt during them. Here's what I plan to do going forward. Here's how it's going. I don't know if maybe we dive into more like specific topics of what maybe I'm learning along the way. I have literally no idea how this is going to go. I'm assuming this is primarily just going to be for me, but thank you for checking out the video. I hope that maybe one person watched this, but yeah, I will hopefully get the bike next week. Get some real updates. And yeah, I'll going to start the training program probably on Monday. Monday, I'm going to write things out and put it on a little Google sheet. Hopefully next week too, I can actually pick the race and pick the day that we are going to do. Because I know that, I did some research. Doesn't really look like there are many near me, regardless of where the race is. Next year, I'm probably going to have to fly to it. So if I'm going to have to fly somewhere next summer to go on a race, well, maybe we go somewhere exotic. Maybe go to Europe and make a vacation out of it, but we'll look into that. But yeah, if you watched the video, thanks.